got this was a few days ago and started going back to his ancestors. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teresa Uzodima and it's beautiful having you here again. Please like, comment, subscribe. I had a conversation with someone last week and just like she wanted me to write for her on the topic involving God in the matters of your life, and just like halfway through it, I was like, no. You know, when you get to that point and you know you're taking this forth, I was like, I'm going to make a video of this because this story is really interesting. It has blessed me. Yeah, it's my story, but it has blessed me and I believe it's going to bless you. Please just like stay tuned, please. I forgot roses have thorns. I attended a federal school after looking for admission for a very long time, and I was studying microbiology. Over that, I studied microbiology. So I got a prophetic message during my second year, and it was like a prophetic message from the Lord for perfection. That I was going to ache my courses. Like I was going to do wonderfully well in my courses. So I held on to that word and I just believed God. That year when I got that message, I actually hit a 5.0 GPA. And I can't tell you that I didn't read. I studied a lot and it was just a miracle of God. I got a 5.0 and it was like, people were surprised, but I was more surprised. Although I believed that yes, God is a miracle worker, I was like, God, so it is really possible. So like, I'm just going to be honest. Although I knew that God was a miracle worker and God did it, God gave me this call, I legit knew I worked hard. Like I read, I studied a lot. So this is wrong though. So although people are like, how did you do it? I got people calling me on WhatsApp. I got people telling me, can I meet you in class? And everybody just wants to ask me, how do you do it? So what I do was that I kind of list a long list of what I did, the hard work I put in. And then as a Christian girl, I had to add, it is the grace of God. You know, so that was the actual feeling I had that time. And the next year, I was like, I'm going to make this better. Down after that year, the next year, I was bent on hitting a 5.0. I told myself it is going to be a 5.0, whether the devil likes it or not. So I was back to my night reading because I usually read at night, like you know what we call night class, like go to class at night and read at night just to like. And then whenever I go to night class, I don't sleep. I try to make sure I don't sleep when I'm like legit, I'm bent on reading. I try not to sleep. So this year, I was like, after getting the 5 point, I was like, I must maintain these 5 points. I said to myself, I was going to read. So before exams, in fact, before school resumed, I was already reading. I was already reading, guys. I was reading and I was like studying and I was like getting YouTube videos. I was understanding some of the calculations. I was understanding the concept and I was like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. So resuming school, I attended classes. Like I do not miss classes. I try as much as possible not to miss classes. I study almost every day. In fact, every day. It was every day because I was legit bent on that. I studied every day when I got home from school and I was just like doing my best. So during exam, like before exam started, before the timetable came out, I was going for night class. I was trying to read using the timetable. When the timetable came out, I was trying to like read. I was trying to like, oh my God, I'm going to put in so much effort because I got a 5 point last year and I heard that this semester is very hard. So I'm going to put in double the effort. So that year, I was not smiling. I was not smiling. I was like, I was going to put in so much effort because I'm ready to like bag a 5.0 GPA, not just a 5.0 because I felt like, oh, I got that last year. I was going to get almost like A's, like strong A's in all of my courses because at this point I was like, I'm going to do it. Because the first year I got a score and somebody was like, oh, this your A's is like what the lecturer dash you. So this year I was like, after I got the first 5 points, I was like, this second 5 point, I'm going to get it. And I'm going to get A's that does not look like the teacher dashed me. Okay. I was reading. So how it was for me was that I go for night class. Sorry, I go for classes.
Then from classes, I attend church activities a lot. I moved from class with my big school bag that everybody knew me for. It was pink color. I moved to church. And when the church activities, like they're done with everything, I buy street food. After, like, when you come out of my church, there's this woman that sells food. I buy food, and then guess where I go to? Back to school, night reading. I read till the next morning. I go to wash. I go to like clean up. I have my bath and all of that. I go to class. It was just a routine, and I was telling myself, all of this hard work has to pay, bro. I covered my school work like a number of times, like many times before it was exam time. I covered all of my courses many times. In fact, I went to even source out for more information so that when the lecturer asks me, sorry, not asks, when the lecturer asks a question, I would answer it and over answer it. That was the plan. So that year, I wrote the exam and I felt good. Like, when you write the exams and like you feel, I've done it again. So I felt good, guys. I felt good. And then the next semester, the result for the last semester came out. So when it came out, guys, I was disappointed. I didn't just fall from 5 points. I fell down flat. I'm not going to actually tell. Okay, let me just tell you. I got it for 4.6. Now, some people will be like, 4.6 is still good, but I don't know if feeling of, I want to get a 5 points, and you've put on all the hard work, and you've said the little prayers, the prayers you say before exam. You're like, God, help me in this exam, and you said all of those prayers. You've gone for exam success prayers. You've done this, you've done that, and everything is perfect. The result is supposed to be perfect, and now you're disappointed. The worst part was that I got a C in one course that is, the title of the course is entrepreneurship. It is not even my departmental course, and I got a C. A C. Yeah, a C. So like, it just ruined my results, and that year I cried. Like, I really cried. And I didn't want to talk to anybody, because almost everybody that saw my results, like my friends, the only thing they say is, you still try now. But nobody like understood what was in my heart. It was just me and God. And I was sad, and I was telling God, but God, I did my best. I did my best. Like, that was the best of the best. In fact, I worked harder than I worked the upper semester. God, I did my best. And then I went to the side of my lodge, because there's a way my lodge is. So I went to the side of my room, like towards the balcony, because this is like, it's at night. So I sat on the floor. I tucked my head down, and I was just crying. And I heard the Lord say to me, I hope you understand now. I hope you understand. And the verse of the Bible, I think, that came to my mind, if I'm not wrong, was not by, I don't know if it's not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit, says the Lord. Yeah. Not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit, says the Lord. And it went further, like, I got convinced. The book of Job, where everybody has spoken. I think Elihu wanted to speak to John, and he said that, I thought age to bring wisdom, but now I know that is the Spirit of God, the breath of the Almighty, that giveth a man understanding. The story did not end there. I learned my lesson. I was like, God, even for the upper one that I did not thank you enough, it was not my hard work. God, I thank you. And I didn't know that God was about to like walk me through another teaching. So the next semester started. This was like 300 level first semester, and at the beginning of the semester, I felt sick. I felt sick. Like, okay, it was not at the beginning, it was like mid semester. So I felt sick. I felt terribly sick. I needed to take that breath. So I was struggling. Like, some days I was so weak that I do take this drip. I'll just go to the pharmacy. I'll tell them, like, can you just give me this particular drip? And they give it to me, and I'll just have little strength. Then I'll tell the pharmacist, please, I'm coming back. So he will cut, like, he will stop the drip halfway, just because I know I was going to get weak, and I'll come back. I go to class, then I come back. So The day it was so bad was the day that I left class and I was walking, and my friends came to me and they were like, Meme, what is it? And I was like, I'm so tired that I can't stay in class anymore. Once my friends heard that I can't stay in class anymore, they knew that this is serious. This is serious. This is very, very serious. So that day, I couldn't even move. They had to carry me back to the hostel. I was struggling with my health. So there was nothing like I started reading before the semester. Nah, I wasn't even reading during the semester. So I just kept having a lot of troubles. I couldn't go for church activities. I was helped with almost everything. Almost everything. So how can I read in that situation? So I was scared that God, what is my result going to look like? What is my result going to look like? I was concerned. And just towards the time where they have to start the test, the assessment, that period now that they have to start all of that, guess what happened? I shut down. I shut down. I was rushed to the hospital. I was diagnosed of a respiratory disease at that time, and I was put on oxygen. I was like in ITU, intensive care units. Sorry, ICU. I think that's what they call it, ICU or something like that. Intensive care unit. I was helped with everything. I couldn't breathe without oxygen. I was just in school. I had a lot of friends from school. A lot. And if you're watching this and you're among my friends from school, just know that the receptionist asked me if I brought the whole school to the hospital. Like, you guys were just so much. So I was at the hospital, I had my friends come visit me, and they tell me about things going on in school. They told me of the tests, of everything, and every day I keep crying. I keep crying. But during that period, I was just so loving on God. I could remember this song. I don't know, it's in my dialect, and it says, Inahuna ije love more. Hakuna huna ije love more. That was what I was singing. Like, it was on repeat in my head. I was happy. I was happy. And after some time, I told the doctor that, please, can you guys let me go? This is a hospital. I didn't like it there. So, because my mom was there, my dad, everybody came around. They traveled all the way from Abuja to my school. Mommy had to stay with me for some days, and then she went back. And after she went back, I had to resume school. I was struggling to go to classes, and I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope. I was crying every day. I wrote few tests because I just tried to go through them, go through the pages of the book, and then just write whatever comes in my head. So I was struggling because sometimes I had episodes before going to school. So it was traumatic. My mental health was being affected. I was like, God, why am I in this state? Why do I have to struggle with the sickness? And I fell ill again. And they took me to my mom, my friend. She had to take me all the way to the village where my mom was at that time because she was preparing to go back to Abuja. So she was like, at the point where like, should we defer this year? Like, should I drop out for just 1 year? Or what is it? And I was just confused. So that day I was rushed to the hospital again, and this long tank of oxygen was beside me. I could remember in my room there were 2 cockroaches mating on the floor. I was like, God, what is it that you are doing? What should I do? God, even if it's a 1.5 GPA, sorry, no, not 1.5. I didn't say 1.5. I said even if it's a 2.5, because I was like, God, even if it's half of the whole GPA, you can give me that year, I'll be glad. And I was like, God, just come through for me because I can't even read. Then a nurse walked in, and when she walked in, she just looked at me, and all of a sudden she was talking about how beautiful it is trusting God with your life. She's talking about how involving God in your life, in the things of your life, leaving to God everything. She told me that God could heal me. She told me that God is there for me. She told me that God could be there for me all the days of my life. Like, she said so soothing words, and it answered every question I had in my heart. And I was just like, God, only you can help me. Lean not on your own understanding. God, I am not leaning on anything I know. But I know you're gonna fix all of this. You're just going to fix all of this. So I said prayers to God, and all of a sudden I told mommy that I'm good to go back to school. I started reading. And mommy said, okay, are you sure? I said, yes, mommy. She said, are you sure? Then she left for Abuja, and I had to go back to school. When I got back to school, before you know, it was exam time. We just wrote a few tests and it was exam time. So I sat for the exam. I actually read, but not as much as I read last year. And I was just like hoping on God. I was just like, God, I'm hoping on you. That year ended. I didn't end the exams with that much excitement. I had some papers that were like, I don't know if I did too well. That's what I kept saying. I don't know if I did too well. I don't know if I did too well. And I was just praying, but in my heart, when people ask me that, how was the paper? I was like, we thank God. I just need God to help me. But in my head, I'm kabashing. I'm like, God, you need to help me on this matter. You need to come and help me on this matter. God, it is only you that I know. So I was praying and just like hoping on God. That year, I got a 5.0 GPA. And oh God, I almost have tears in my eye right now. And that year, I showed my mom the results. And I was like, Mommy, I got a 5.0 GPA. And the only thing that I could not understand was how? How? Like, I didn't read for these courses. I was sick. Sometimes before the exams, I had episodes. So how did I get a 5.0? I missed some tests. God, how did I get a 5.0? And then it dawned on me that when God said, lean not on your own understanding. Some trust in what? Horses, their chariots. But what do we trust in? We trust in the name over God. Because we understand that sometimes matters are going this way. And you're like, God, these things are going left. They're going sideways. They're not going the way they're supposed to go. But God is capable of changing the situation, taking away everything that will bring you reproach and giving you your life back. God is capable of changing the story of a man, not just a man. If he could change the story of a nation, Israel, not just a man, a nation, why can't he change you? Why can't he change yours? So the problem is that sometimes we rely so much on what we think has been our help. Just like I thought it was just about reading. It was about studying. It was about knowing what to write. It was about knowing the questions that will be asked. But God is concerned about, do you trust me? Do you think I can do it for you? Even when you are weak, you have the strength of your own. Do you believe? So this is just an encouragement to everyone out there that is seeking for strength, seeking for the right thing to do, seeking for how to achieve big goals that they have no idea how they will achieve. Like I used to tell myself, the person I want to be before I die, the heights I want to get to. All the school that I've gone to, all the money of my full family, it can't take me there. It is somewhere only God can take me. So I want you to have this understanding in your heart that it is only God that can make your life as beautiful as you want it to be. Yeah, I hope this story blessed you. I hope this story touched somewhere in your heart and encouraged you to trust in God and stick to God. Lean not on your own understanding. Trust in all your ways. Trust God. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and please share this video. I really need a lot of comments. I really want to know what you think. I need a lot of subscriptions too. Thank you very much for watching to this point.